So with that, happy Friday. I am so excited. It's a new year, new week, new month, all of the things. And what I really wanted to chat with you guys today is about mindset. And I think it's really important to have a really solid mindset, especially going into the new year, because so often we get into this place in our mindset and it really, really derails us. And so we have to really check ourselves when it comes to that. And so I have seen a lot this year already. I mean, obviously it's, only day 5, but literally people are already posting about how their year isn't off to a good start, or geez, I thought like it was going to look different. I thought things were going to be better. I have seen so much of that already. And this is what I want to talk with you guys today about, and what I want to encourage you is that it is a new year, you guys, but nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So we will have the exact same year as we had last year if we don't change anything different. So with that being said, if you didn't love the year that you had last year, or you don't like how things are going, this is your opportunity to change it. But the only way that it changes is when you work on yourself. And the biggest thing that we have to work on is our mindset. It is so, so easy to get into a negative mindset. And with that, I will be honest with you, at the end of last year, I don't know how, I don't know what, it just happens. And then once it happens, it spreads like wildfire. But I started to just kind of get into this negative mind space. And I mean, if you talk to me, you might not have thought I was negative, but it's those little things that you do that you might not even realize. And it's those things of like, when one thing goes wrong in the morning, you already deem it a bad day. Or one thing happens and you're like, oh, I can see how this day is going to go. And when you do that, that just offers your brain an opportunity to provide evidence of why it's going to be a bad day. So what will happen is your brain is just going to continuously look for more bad things throughout your whole entire day. And then you're just going to find more and more things to be irritated about, more and more things to feel negative about. And you are just going to get into this place of really, really essentially manifesting more negativity and more bad things into your life, or into that day, especially when you start out like that. And this coincides with business, because when we get into a place of talking like, well, no one's joining my team, nobody's responding to anything on my social media, no one is messaging me, whatever. Like, I don't even like to give the examples and go on, because I, again, feel like that just breeds negativity. Because when you sit and you constantly dwell on those things, what happens is then your brain just provides you more reasons of why you're right. So when you make a post and no one comments on it, or no one likes it, you're like, see, yep, there's no point. And your brain now is providing you evidence of why that thought process that you had, of why that is correct. But in reality, we know when we go and we look back, we know that we didn't even do that. So if we didn't do that, why would we expect other people to do that? If we were watching in silence, why would, exactly, Angel, people are watching. You're 100% right. But my point is that when we get into that negative mindset, what happens is then we just provide ourselves evidence of why it's not working, or why no one is joining us, or why we think that, nothing is happening. But then that's where your frequency goes, and that's where your energy goes. And then that's where everything flows. You guys, everything flows through energetics. And so when you are in an energetically low place of negativity, people can actually feel that as much as you think they may or may not, especially someone like me who is a huge empath. I can feel people's energy all the time. Like I can walk into a room and my husband doesn't say a word and I can already tell something isn't right because I am a huge energy feeler. But just like that, when you text somebody, when you write a social media post, like how many times have you text a best friend or a spouse or something like that, and you say nothing about having a bad day or anything like that, but all of a sudden they're like, is everything okay? You seem off. How many times have you had that happen? I know you've had it happen. Guess what? When you guys post on your social media, people can feel that same exact energy, especially if they know you and if they've been following you for a long time. So that's why it is so, so important to keep our mindsets in a positive place, because otherwise you literally will attract the energy that you are putting out there. I'm really in a deep dive about it's a an abundance manifestation training right now. It's a 5-day training. And I signed up for it like before the end of the year because I knew that my mindset was kind of crappy and I knew that I was kind of in a place of negativity. And you guys, our thoughts are so, so, so powerful. And I used to think this was just hocus pocus voodoo kind of crap. And you might think it too, but I am going to tell you, it is way better to be in this mind space than to be in the alternative. And this training is, he is like, certified. He's like, he's like this big, huge trainer in mindset and manifestation. And I will tell you that since I've been doing this training, there are so many aha moments that I am just like, oh my gosh. And I'm actually annoyed because I don't have my notebook in here with all of my notes. I was writing so fast, I couldn't even keep up, but there was so many things that he talked about. And one of the things that he talked about that I will share with you guys, because you guys know my history, like with my brother and his recovery and all of that kind of stuff. And so this woman actually came on and he took a couple questions from, people that were on the Zoom. And she said that she's a recovering alcoholic and that she has been in recovery for 18 months. And that, now she's going through a divorce, her business is failing. Like, she was just like, I just don't know why this is all happening. Like, I changed my life and everything is falling apart and, blah, blah, blah. And so there was a couple things that he really pointed out that really stuck with me. And the one thing is he's like, can I correct you? He's like, I know in the world of recovery, it is talking about how you are a recovering addict. He's like, but I disagree with that. That language assumes that you're going to fail. And he's like, you need to start saying you are recovered, because you are recovered the day that you made the choice that you weren't going to do it anymore. And it just hit me. And it's like, and I know like in my brother's world, they talk about it's like recovering because like you're never fully recovered, because like essentially they're saying you could, like every day you're making a choice to be in recovery. And so you're always recovering. But it gives this negative connotation that you might fail or that you're going to fail. So you're always in recovery and that you're always recovering. And he's like, you need to start telling yourself you are recovered, because what happens is addicts so often, then they wear that badge. Can you please turn off the fan, sir? They wear that as a badge and then that becomes their identity. And sometimes that can be a negative identity. And he's like, so you need to, first of all, be happy and proud of yourself that you are recovered. You have not drank for 18 months. You're recovered and now you need to move forward. But then he like talked about how, she's used the alcohol to cope. So it's actually not that everything is falling apart. It's just that for the first time ever, she is actually having to feel those emotions and feelings that she used to use alcohol to numb. And then he said that the alcohol was actually, for her, it was certainty. She was certain that when she drank, she knew exactly how she was going to feel. And he's like, and how this correlates with all of you is that you get into a negative mindset because you're actually looking for certainty. You want certainty in your business. You want certainty in your life. You want certainty in every single day that you live, because it's the control aspect in us that we want to control what happens, and we want to be certain of the outcome. But he's like, but so many of us will never take that risk or that chance because we don't have the certainty of the outcome. And then we continue to provide ourselves evidence of why it's not going to work out. Because you're like, well, I've never done this business. I have never been good at social media. I have never done anything like this before. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to sell. I don't know, gosh, what else do I hear? I don't have a lot of friends. I don't know a lot of people. These are all reasons and evidence, you guys, that we are providing our brains with why it's not going to work. So we're already starting the business in a negative place and space, saying that we don't think it's going to work out because of all of these different reasons. And so what we're doing is we're actually self-sabotaging, because in a place of self-sabotage, we're certain of the outcome. We're certain we're going to fail. We're certain that it's not going to work out. Is this all making sense to you guys? We do it every single day. We want the certainty of what's going to happen in our life. And so we self-sabotage so that we know the outcome. I did it with my own marriage, you guys. Well, we weren't married yet, but when Rock and I were dating, I was going to break up with him because I thought it'll be easier to just let him go and not have to deal with the heartbreak later, because it just feels too good to be true. I felt like I wasn't worthy of it. I didn't know how to be loved like that. And so I just thought it would be easier to just let it go than to actually have to let my heart go and actually learn how to be loved. Thankfully, he didn't allow that to happen. And he had this sense that I was going to break up with him. And so we were sitting at dinner and he grabbed my hands and he goes, I already know why you're here and you want to break up with me because you're scared and I'm scared too. And it's okay. We're going to fall together if that's the case, you know, blah, 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 a bunch of other stuff. And I was bawling. And from that moment forward, I finally let my heart go. And, you know, but I was too afraid of the outcome. And even though in this situation, the outcome was positive, I was still afraid of it. So I was willing to self-sabotage it and let it go rather than to let it in. So what if you guys let go your self-limiting beliefs and your self-sabotage and actually just fully showed up authentically yourself and showed up on social media like the boss that you are, and stop giving a shit what people thought? And what if that opened the doors to this crazy amount of abundance and like open the doors to your purpose, open the doors to what you have to give the world? And that doesn't necessarily have to mean thrive. I don't know what you might be holding in. Maybe you have a lot of thoughts. Maybe you have situations that have almost destroyed you, but that could be somebody else's survival guide. Now, I know I'm an open book, but you guys, I wasn't always like this. I was very, very, very shy. I know that's hard for you guys to believe, but I truly was. I was so shy, especially when I started this business. I was so afraid to use my voice. I was so afraid what other people would think. You guys need to stop giving the keys to somebody else in your driver's seat. You guys are the driver of your story. No one else is, but so often we are handing those keys away to somebody else and allowing them to drive us. And we're allowing their opinions and their thoughts. And at the end of the day, truthfully, anyone that judges you is usually because they are too insecure to do it themselves. That is literally a reflection of them. If they're throwing shade, it's because they don't have the balls to do it. And they're jealous. It's honestly what it is. They're jealous because they don't have the courage. They don't have the courage to show up like you guys. Because here's the thing, you guys, you know that before you hit that live button, for example, or honestly, before you even posted that first Thrive post, you probably overthought it. You guys, I still to this day, I actually can't wait because my 8-year anniversary is going to be coming up. And so then therefore, like all my Facebook memories are going to be popping up. And I can't wait to screenshot some of these things that I used to write on social media and show you guys what it looked like. Because you're first of all going to see that I was just excited and ignorance on fire. You're also going to see that I was like no pro at any of this. And I rambled just as much as I do now, but in a social media post, it was even longer because I was just excited. But I remember that first post and I remember thinking people are just going to think this is hocus pocus because like I have so many benefits and so many things that have changed my life to share that it almost seems too good to be true. And I remember rethinking that post so many times and changing words and, eliminating sentences and then rewriting it. And I mean, it took me like an hour to write that first post. I remember it. And I remember feeling so insecure about it because I had never done this before. And you guys, I didn't have any leader or anybody like cheering me on or encouraging me. I was just so excited about the products that I just kept on thinking there are so many people that need this. And I just felt so tugged at in my heartstrings that I had to share it, especially like back then, once like before I really, because Angel has known me from the very beginning of my journey because I was dropping off I was dropping off Kingston to her room every single morning when I started Thrive. And I, like she could see those changes in me and she started to notice. And I remember the one day, you guys, and this is like all it takes is that one person that sees you or believes in you. And I want you guys to recognize that you are that person for somebody else as well. Because Angel said to me, "What is going on with you? Like, you seem so different and happy and like you're running. Like, geez, girl, what are you like turned into this runner girl? Like, what is going on?" And she noticed that there was something different. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I really do need to share this. There are so many people that need this. And you guys, that's when I decided Angel saw me in that transition, but I was not posting about it on social media yet. I was still just kind of keeping it to myself. I was sharing in person, but I was never, posting about it on social media yet because I was too like kind of scared and nervous. I hit my VIP just from like personally calling people and messaging people. And then I just kind of shared it here and there at work when clients would ask. And so for like the first month or two, I didn't really post about it. Jess, she was like one of my first promoters. And I just shared belly to belly with her at the daycare. And it was basically because she was like, "What the hell are you doing? I need whatever you have." She was not skeptic at all. She took the 3-day sample. She ordered as a promoter. Bam. She joined just like that. And then I was so scared to even tell her how to do the business or how to hit VIPs because I was just like so insecure. I was just like, well, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to feel salesy. I don't know how to tell her. Like, does she really want to work the business? Does she not? You guys, I was in my head. So I just want you to know we all started out. And throughout time, I have worked on my mindset and I have had to work on getting out of my head and I've had to work on not caring what other people's opinions are. And I know it's hard, but going into this new year, I need you guys to get your mindsets right. I need you to start believing in yourselves like I believe in you. I need you to start seeing how much you have to offer, just like I see that of you, because we all have something to offer. But it's our minds that are keeping us small. It's our minds that are keeping us safe. And we are in this place of self-sabotage and negativity because somebody maybe said something to you years ago that told you you weren't good enough. Somebody said something about your business. I mean, I remember somebody saying something to me about, oh, I don't even remember what exactly it was, but it was something to do with my auto bonus. And, I wonder how long it's going to be before she loses that because that's not real. And you guys, here I am, like how many years later, and now I'm also an elite earner. Like that's something I never thought was going to happen when they announced that at Thrive Palooza. I was like, oh my gosh, that's super hard. But here I am. And now I just have to try to get it 3 consecutive months in a row. And then Lavelle sends you this really fancy leather bag. So that's another goal. And I've just taken small steps throughout this whole entire journey to get to that next level. But each level has required another layer of mindset work because every single level, like we say, new levels, new devils, right? Because every level in life, you're going to have new challenges. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have things that are going to happen. And so I just want you to recognize that these setbacks and these challenges, that's the point. That's life. That is the universe testing you to see if you can actually handle the next level or if you're actually ready for it. Because every level has new devils. And for example, I was in a negative mindset last year because of my Airbnb. You guys, like I allowed the hurricane, no bookings, 2 stylists leaving my salon, and then a month later, a nail tech leaving my salon. I let all of that like just completely destroy me last year. And I felt stuck and I felt like a failure. And I started to tell myself it was me. And all this was happening because of me. I started to tell myself, like, oh, I guess I must have hit my peak in life and now it's all falling apart. I was like, oh, the stylist must have left because I must be doing something wrong. And then the nail tech left. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's me. And then it was like by the end of the year, I started to really like reflect back on everything. And I'm like, you know what? Like with the stylist and the one that was, my best friend for 16 years, you know what? We've just grown apart. And part of it is that mentally, I've grown a lot. Dash, can you drive your power wheel somewhere else, bud? Can you drive it out there, honey? Yeah, he wants to drive his tractor through my room right now. It's really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it. But here's the thing, you guys. My point in saying all of this stuff is that I realize that sometimes those things have to happen because it's actually a good thing. Sometimes those people are actually holding you back and they're not actually providing in your life. And I don't mean financially, like, so some of this negativity left my life at a time when I needed it the most because I realized it was actually holding me back. So some of that stuff is actually a good thing, but we coin it immediately as a negative thing and that it's horrible and everything is happening to us. And then we fall into victim mode. And once you fall into victim mode, you cannot get yourself out of victim mode. It is extremely hard to, recover back from that, because then you just continue to provide more and more evidence of why everything is happening to you. And then you just start to get into this place of, I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of success, this isn't working, maybe my business is failing. And then that's where other people in this industry get into, maybe I need to join a different company. Maybe Thrive doesn't work anymore. Maybe it's too saturated. And then you start to provide evidence again of why everything isn't working. And then you fall back into the self-sabotage mode again. And this vicious cycle continues to repeat itself. So, for example, yesterday we got home from traveling and our car didn't start. And we have no winter coats on because we don't like to, bring all that crap into the airport with us and travel with it. And clearly we don't need it in Florida. So we get out to the car and the car's dead. And my husband was a little upset and a little negative about it. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not saying that that's a wrong, reaction. Of course you're going to be frustrated. But I immediately was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what you're so upset about. And I'm not saying that I would have been like that last year when I was really in this negative place. I've been really trying to work on my mindset. But I was like, instead of looking at it, I'm like, this isn't the worst thing in the world. We'll get the car jumped. Yeah, it's going to delay us a little bit, but this is exactly why we travel early. This is exactly why we get up at 4 a.m. for a 7:30 flight so that we have plenty of time to get home, bearing weather or whatever it might be. And I look at it as, instead of thinking like, oh my gosh, great, this isn't a very good start to the new year. Oh, here we go. I'm just like, okay, maybe this is protection for us. Maybe there's a big 10-car pileup up the road that God is protecting us from, and we're not supposed to leave yet because it's protecting us from something bad that could happen. Or maybe it's absolutely nothing and sometimes shit just happens. Whatever it is, but you can't fall back into that negativity of oh, I can see how this day is going to go, or oh, I can see how this year is going to go. Because guess what? We got the car jumped. We called the airport parking people. They came, they jumped us. It set us back 30 minutes, but the kids got to run in the airport, burn off some energy that they probably needed to from being pent up for 3 hours on the plane, and we still had 3 hours home. It all worked out. But you guys can see the difference of the shift of the mindset of where I was just very much like, okay, if this is the worst thing that happens today, it's a good day. Because here's the deal, something way worse could have happened. 10 miles up the road that maybe this is protecting us from. I don't know what, but here we are. We got 30 minutes delayed. It's not the end of the world. It's 30 freaking minutes. So again, you guys, we just really want to, moving into this new year with our mindsets, with our businesses, we really need to get ourselves into a positive place and get your mindset on track. And if you're struggling with your mindset, one of the things that I would really encourage you to listen to, if you have Audible, or I don't know if it's on Spotify, but whatever you listen to books on, I would listen to the book, The Secret. It's huge on manifestation. It's huge on our thoughts and how our thoughts become things. It's huge on how, when you think about more negativity, you attract more negativity, because you guys, all of our thoughts and all of our actions are on a frequency. We are energy. And so just like these corny little sayings that we've coined and deemed, but we really don't think much about it. Your vibe attracts your tribe. You guys, it's because literally we are energy. So the energy that we are putting out into the world is the energy we're going to get back. And the problem with being negative and having a negative mindset is that when you are negative, And when you are always just kind of expecting the worst to happen, you attract people in your life that are exactly the same. And then guess what? Misery loves company. And so when you sit around the table with your girlfriends, or you're out to dinner, or you're out at the bar having a drink, then guess what everybody does? They complain, they're negative, they gossip, and then you just continue to do more and more of that because it just feeds your soul at that point. And so you really have to take inventory of the people that you're surrounding yourself with, the thoughts that you're thinking, the words that you're speaking out of your mouth, and not allowing one little tiny thing to derail your whole day, much less speaking it out and saying like the whole year is going to be bad just because of one thing that happened. It's not a bad day. It's not a bad week. It's not a bad month. It's not a bad year. It's just life happens sometimes. And what are you going to do about it? What is it teaching you? Why did it happen? And so often we blame ourselves for everything, when in reality, it's just like, maybe that happened because it was for your protection. Maybe it happened because you needed it to happen. You know, maybe those girls leaving the salon happened because it was holding me back. And I know it was holding me back because they were always judging me in my Thrive business. And I am a people pleaser, and I am an overthinker. And because it was my peers who I work with every day, I felt like maybe they were always judging me or annoyed with me. I don't know if they were or not, but that's what I thought. And now it's like, I don't even have to think about it. I don't care. They can do their thing. I can do my thing. It is what it is. And then I also just thought, well, good for them. Maybe it's their time to go out into the world and experience what it's like to own a business, because it's not as easy as what you think. And they need to experience that, and that's okay. And so you just have to get to a point to where you have to just love people where they're at. And another thing is just the more love and positivity that you are giving out, naturally, the more you will receive back. Because again, that is an energy. So when you're sending people in the morning the well wishes that we've just changed this week that I'm doing, there's a reason behind it. Everything I do has a reason, you guys. And it's because you're sending out that positive and happy vibration and energy, and you're only going to receive that much more of it back. It's just how it works. It's the law of attraction. It's just when we are vibing high and we are sending out positivity to everybody else and good juju and whatever you want to call it, you're going to receive that back. And plus, it gets you in a positive mindset, and it makes you feel good about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, you naturally do more, and you feel better about your life, your business, everything that you have going on. So if you're struggling, I really need you to listen to The Secret, or go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and listen to motivational videos. I really, really suggest you to listen to like law of attraction videos on YouTube. And the reason being is because it really, really shows you and describes to you like the science behind our brains, our vibrations, our energy, and all of those things. Because if we are not in a good space, it breeds like wildfire, and then it's so hard to get back to that place again. So when you really, for me, I'm obviously no professional, but when you really understand the sciences behind it and how our brains work, this manifestation abundance training that I have been doing, it actually really reminds me of my therapy, when I'm in therapy, because I will talk about my negative thoughts and how I feel things and how I kind of blame myself for everything, and, just all of these different things. And, then she will provide evidence and actual, training, I guess you could say, of why that's not true. But we get into a thought pattern, and same with like, I'm just going to touch on this real quick. It's the same thought patterns of, have you been raised with money mindset issues, maybe from your parents? It's not their fault. They probably attracted that from their parents. But, when they say money doesn't grow on trees and, we're broke and all of these things, when you speak those things out, then you just continue to attract more of that to your life. Instead, you can just say, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it's already mine. Because here is the thing, when you can really think positive about things, life is going to happen to you and for you when you are putting out the positive energy. But if you continue to say, we're broke and we can't afford that, well, guess what? You're never going to be able to afford it just because you continuously tell yourself that. And so your brain's just going to provide more evidence of why you can't. And then you will just stay in a broke mindset for the rest of your life. And so it's really important to really be mindful of the words that you are saying and speaking out into the world, because that is what is keeping you where you are. And sometimes what's happened is we've adopted these things from our parents and from, other people and influences in our lives. And we've just honestly, we've adopted it and we've come to believe it, even though it's not true. Jess says, Steve. I was like, what? Steve Harvey motivation video is good too. He came from the hood and had every excuse not to be successful, and he gets me jacked up every time. I agree totally. Steve Harvey is really, really good. But yeah, you guys, like, there's literally a whole YouTube that is literally called The Law of Attraction, and they're much better at explaining it. But seriously, these are thoughts that we've adopted from our childhood, from other mentors, from whoever, whatever. And you have come to believe it and just adopt it as who you are, but it's actually not true. And so you really, really need to think about those things that you have adopted and what you're speaking out and what you're saying, because this will reflect down into your business, into your relationships, into everything. And so that is what we don't want. So moving into you have them on the wrong feet, honey. Moving into 2024, I want to encourage you guys to really, really get into a really positive mind space and just be very mindful of the things that you are speaking out and the things that you are saying. Because after doing this training, I'm only on day 3 and there's 2 more days. I am so aware of the things that we often say. And since everything is frequency, you're just attracting more of that negativity into your life. And so you really have to be mindful of the words and things that you are speaking out, because when you're in a place of gratitude, you just attract more positive and things in your life to be thankful for. But if you're constantly talking about everything that isn't going right, you're only going to find more things that are going to go wrong. And so I hope that this was helpful for you. I just think that they say in this business, more than half of this business is not just the work that you do, but it is the mindset that you have while you're doing it. Because if you already don't think you're going to be successful at it, then why would you just miraculously show up one day and be successful if you don't even believe that you're going to be? Of course you're not going to be, because you're self-sabotaging. And so your mind is just going to continue to look for more reasons of why you're not successful. So it's super, super important to get your minds right and to work this business from a place of gratitude and positivity, so that you can attract more of that into your life and into your business. So unless anybody else has anything that they want to add quick, feel free to unmute. But I just really wanted to get you guys in a place of getting your minds right. And if you've had a bad day this year already or whatever, maybe it's not off. You know what I think this is? This is the warm-up week. This is the training week. So whatever happens this week, I think we put too high of an expectation on the new year where we're like, oh my gosh, new year, new me. No, it's new year, same you, unless you decide to make changes. Period. End of statement. If you're not going to do anything different in your life to make a positive change or to be better, you are going to have the same exact year. Just because the calendar flipped does not mean that suddenly it's a brand new you. It's the same you coming into a different year. And so you really, really need to think about that. So if you're not happy with where you're at and you need to make some changes or some concessions, you know what? Then, okay, that's enough. That is enough. You've had plenty. Then you need to start making some changes then so that you can have a brand new year. Because doing the exact same thing this year is going to get the exact same results as you had last year. And if you don't like those results, then you got to make a change. And a lot of times it starts with us. It starts with the person in the mirror, and we have to take ownership of who we are. And that's not to say it's bad. A lot of times it's just small little tweaks that make a big, huge difference, like a huge difference. Yes, I love that, Angel. New year, same me, different attitude, 100%. Our attitudes are everything. So again, we just really need to be mindful of what we're thinking about, what we're speaking about, what we're saying, what we're speaking over our businesses, what we're speaking over ourselves, all of those things. Another thing before I come off, I just had another thought because of Ultimate Thriver. Last year, I kind of just kept on saying, I just can't transform this body. I just don't know why. My body just doesn't want to change. I don't know. I always used to be able to just like bounce right back. I used to be able to just lose weight, and now I can't, blah, blah, blah. Well, now, like, because I'm saying that, my body and my mind are just going to be like, you can't lose weight. And so guess what? You just don't. And then when I'm having an off day, then I just automatically eat the cake because I'm like, well, my body doesn't really transform anyways. And then you just get into this zone. So now I am also trying to speak positivity over my body. I'm like, I jumped on the scale today, you guys, and I gained almost 4 pounds on vacation. I actually, other than pregnancy, I'm currently at my highest weight I have ever been in my life, ever. And I am like, no, I am not going to fall into the attitude of I'm turning 40 in July. And so now I'm 40 and this is just how it is. And you hear it all the time. Metabolism goes down and it's a lot harder. No, I'm not gonna believe that. There are 60-year-olds out there that have 6-pack abs and are so freaking fit. That is an excuse, and it's a lie that we tell ourselves. I am like, no, I am not going to adapt and adopt that mindset. I'm going to get my ass in gear and do what I need to do and get in the gym and eat better and make some small changes in my diet that are going to help me. Jess and I were just talking about this last night. Just small little changes can make a big, huge difference. And I'm going to kick myself into gear because you know what? You have to get to a point to where you're tired of your own shit. And until you get to the point that you are sick and tired of your own bullshit and the lies and just the negative self-talk and also just being in the same exact place, you have to get tired of it. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of how I look because I don't feel good when I look like this. I feel really good when I am in shape and when I'm feeding my body well. And when we feed our bodies well, guess what? Then our minds are better because we feel more positive because we're proud of ourselves because we exercised and we ate well and we took care of the body that we've been given. And so it all correlates. We have to get our minds right, our bodies right, everything right because it all works together. And when you eat like crap, you guys, all those preservatives, all that crap that we put in our bodies, guess what? That sits in our gut. And then guess what? The gut and the brain are connected. That's where depression comes in. That's where anxiety comes in. That's where everything is connected. So, moving into this year, I just really want to encourage you guys to think about what is bothering you, where you're at, and what you need to do to snap out of it. Because you have to snap out of it so that we can have a better year than we had last year. Every single year should be a year of growth. I have not won the ultimate thriver any of the times that I've tried, but what I will say is that since doing ultimate thriver, I have been the most consistent in my workouts, like working out regularly. I've adapted a new lifestyle of working out. I used to work out, but it was so sporadic, you guys, like once a week, or maybe I'd do it for a week and then I'd fall off for another week. Now it's just become who I am. And so you have to every year just work on one thing, and every year everything just gets a little bit better. So that is where I'm at. Does anybody else have anything they want to add? No? Okay, well, I hope that helped you guys. I hope it encourages you. Like I said to you earlier, I just want you to see what I see in you and believe in you like I believe in you, and stop the self sabotage. Stop it. Stop talking nasty to yourself. Stop thinking that you're not good enough. Give yourself the same grace that you give everybody else. And just because something happens in the morning doesn't have to mean your whole entire day is trashed. Don't throw out a whole day just because of 5 minutes. Pick yourself back up and say to yourself, well, if this is the worst thing that happens today, it's going to be a good day, and move on. And that's what it is, you guys. You just have to start talking nicer to yourself. Get your minds right, and just keep moving forward one day at a time. So I appreciate you all. I hope this was helpful. I hope you have an amazing Friday. Don't forget Fridays are follow-up Fridays. So follow up with samplers, follow up with old customers, and or promoters, whatever. Reach out to people. We still have time to get people to join us for Ultimate Thriver. You guys, oh yes, Jess, you are absolutely right. It's auto ship day. Thank your auto ships. And also, again, remember that if you work this Ultimate Thriver Challenge, we have $25 in credits coming for brand new people from the bomb. Plus, hang on one second. What are you doing in here? No, thank you. We are done. Okay, water flowing in the bathroom is never a good sign. Got it resolved. 2-year-olds. But anyways, so you guys, it's auto ships. Like Jess mentioned, also getting people to join you in Ultimate Thriver. Guess what? They are going to be able to thrive with you for the next 3 months because of the competition. So that's really good for your business. So as long as the credits, before their credits are used, it's $160. They're also going to get free shipping. Also remember right now, you guys, this is huge, is that on a 400 pack, instead of getting paid $80, we're getting paid $200. It's basically like 50% off. So if you need product, which I feel like a lot of us don't because we've had so many sales, but if you do and you have a spouse to order underneath, if they're a promoter, obviously do that, because basically you're getting your package for 50% off. That's an option. But also remember, like, if you want to promote people joining your business, you can give them $100 in cash off of their 400 pack, and you're still going to make 100, which is still $20 more than what you would even make before. So you're making your $80 in commission plus $20 more, plus they're getting a deal. And that's also huge. So if you have people that you think might want to join the business, this is a great time to have them do that. Plus, instead of 400 QV, you're going to get 600 QV. You guys, there are so many amazing opportunities with this Operation Bomb. So make sure that you're talking about it. Make sure you're talking about the opportunity and how you can make money and how we have a supportive team and how we have these trainings and all of the things, because if you're never talking about the business, people are never going to join you in the business. So make sure that you're talking about that opportunity. And pretty much that is, I think, all I have. I appreciate you so much being here. We went a little over on time today, but I hope that this was helpful for you. And I will see you guys on Sunday. I will pop it in the team page in the morning, exactly what time. It's either going to be noon or 1 o'clock on Sunday to plan our week for the following week. So I look forward to getting that started with the team. And I think that's all I have for you guys. I hope you have an amazing Friday, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys. You want to say bye? Oh, nope. Okay, we're good. Bye, guys.